so much, Johan. Was a really, really wonderful introduction about me. And so I'm now wondering, he's really talking about me? Question. And today, I believe everybody would love to talk about economy. So sometimes it is lovely, sometimes it is volatile. Anyway, first I want to ask you some question. What is the most important number in economics or in economy, in your idea? Anybody can talk about that? What is the most important number? It is a public speech class, so you say something, then we give you some extra points. Okay, go ahead. What? 0? Oh, but there is a number, I mean, some economic number.
Can you give us an example?
Okay, then we say GDP or something. Kind of thing. What is the most important number in economy? In your idea?
Profit.
What?
Profit.
Profit? Oh yeah, that's very important thing.
Currency. Currency. Sure.
Currency? You cheated my class. Actually, my answer is much easier one than that. Profit, GDP, currency is very academic terms. The important number in our class tonight is price. Yeah. We live with price every day. Price is very important in this sense that price bears information of the philosophy of our era, our period, the 21st century. Let's talk about some example. Karl Marx, the very famous socialist and economist, and his book, the most famous book is Das Kapital. Right, you're very smart. Then, let's suppose we got a very rare edition of Karl Marx's Das Kapital. How expensive would it be? You can imagine, very expensive now. But that is the kind of a philosophy in today's world, today's Korea. But let's suppose the situation when I was a college student like you in 1980. The price is 0, and even I could be in prison because I possessed the enemy doctrine. It was the law in 1980s. After I was a sophomore, was junior in college, the kind of prohibition on his books were cancelled in this country, abolished it. That even before that, any possession of socialist scientist book was violation of national security law. So this is a change of the society. 30 years ago, the price of Das Kapital was below less than 0 because we have to think about your families taking care of myself in prison. But this is very, very expensive. So price suggests us information which goods are appreciated and which goods are not that much appreciated. Price bears that kind of information. So very interesting. In that sense, price is the most important number in today's topic. Then next question is, then who determines the price? What? Please.
Consumers.
We also cheated by it. Yeah, consumers take the 50% of price determining procedure.
Right.
Market.
Perfect.
Wow.
Market is the very place that consumers and producers work together. by the way, is there anybody that would think the Central Communist Party determined that? Then you got a problem. Yeah, the market determines the price. That is so-called what we call market economy. Actually, the price was not that much determined by the government all through Korean history. You know, we have a more historically proven. We have more than 2,000 year history. In this long period, the prices cannot be manipulated artificially. So we have a very long history of market economy. I think all the old cities like Istanbul, Seoul, Beijing, Cairo would have as much long history of market economy, I believe so. Anyway, the market determines the price. Very, very nice answers. And you are very active participants of today's class. I'm very much impressed. The market determines the price. That is a perfect answer. Then, how is the price determined? You mean? 200% of that. I have nothing to talk about anymore.
Not true, go on.
I gotta go home now. Yeah, that's correct. Supply and demand. It may be hard to somebody who've never taken economy class, but it's very simple. The logic is very simple. If more people want to buy that good, the price goes up. If the manufacturer produces the good in much quantity, the price goes down. There is a mechanism of price, supply and demand. More supply, lower price. More demand, higher price. That is a basic logic. It's not much of economics. You can guess. It is just a common sense. Price is determined at the equilibrium point of supply and demand. If you take economy class, microeconomics class, you will see a bunch of times of this graph. This is kind of a supply-demand function. Economists love to draw everything in graph. That's why I hate them. They love to call it functions. All those are the terms that I hate so much. So I dropped all the current classes. The tragedy is that even though I chose to drop the current classes, one point in my life I became a banker. That's great. Anyway, there is a problem of the procedure of price. This price making procedure. Then actually this is a prerequisite of today's class. Yeah, price itself is not our main topic. Today I will talk about two specific prices. First one is the interest rate. Anybody have a trouble with interest rate? You don't understand what it means? Interest rate. If I borrow 10,000 won from Johan, next day he takes me 11,000 won from me. Very expensive. Interest rate. 10% interest rate one day, overnight. That is interest rate. And the other price is foreign exchange rate. Foreign exchange rate. Everybody understand that? We say $1 is currently 1,166 won today. That is the exchange rate. Regarding Japanese yen, $1 is, how much is it today? 113 and some floating numbers yen. That is the exchange rate. Then, first, easier question. Is foreign exchange rate price of what? Why is it price of something?
Price of dollar.
You cheated my material. Yeah, great. Very, very great. Yeah. And foreign exchange market. Foreign exchange rate is price of US dollar in Korea. In Korea, how many foreign exchange markets are open in Korea? You know?
Many.
No, not that many. Not that many in Korea. Only two. Only US dollar and Korean won are exchanged in the market, and the other one is Chinese yuan, renminbi. We have only two markets. What about all other currencies? Even Japanese yen, we don't have markets. It's just calculated. What we call the arbitrage exchange rate. We check the US dollar exchange rate, and we also check New York exchange rate, Japanese yen US dollar exchange rate, and then calculate it. That is what we call arbitrage exchange rate between Korean won and Japanese. Actually, in 1997, there is a funny story. Korean won and Japanese yen market was open. Yeah. But what happened was the most frequently appearing news about that market was today again there was no transactions at all. It was a funny thing. What happened was the foreign exchange dealers used Microsoft Excel and they just calculated. If I get a chance to make some easy money, then they go into the Japanese yen market. So finally, Korean authorities were frustrated and they closed that market. But recent years, they recognized the necessity of the direct trading of Korean won and Chinese yuan. So the renminbi market in Seoul was open. So we have two foreign exchange markets. Okay. Yeah. That was the easier question. Then, harder one is the interest rate price of which what? Oh, yeah, very excellent. You definitely you must have some background in economics, right?
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah, great. It's a very some hard notion to understand. How can you think about the price of money? Price itself is the money. The price of the money of money. What does it mean? Let's think about the opportunity cost. Today, I don't have any money. Tomorrow, I have 101. But my friend has 101 today. Then he has an advantage of 101 for 24 hours. That is the price of 101 overnight. And that is interest rate. So, interest rate is a price of money, and foreign exchange rate is the price of foreign currency. So the two prices that we will talk tonight. Then let's go back to the price determining procedure. Then how are the foreign exchange rate and the interest rate determined? It's easy. We got an answer about that. before. At the market. Foreign exchange rate, that is determined at the FX market. As an abbreviation, we call foreign exchange as FX. The dealers love to use that simple abbreviations. The foreign exchange rates are determined at the FX market. You know, in Korean foreign exchange market, from 9 o'clock in the morning to 3 o'clock in the afternoon, the Korean won, Chinese yuan, and US dollar are exchanged. All through these hours, the exchange rates keep changing continuously. So exchange rate is determined there. What about interest rate? That is also determined at the money market and the bond market. Money market is just borrowing. If there are so many people who want to borrow money, what does it mean? That is the demand of the money is going up. Demand is going up. What did I say some moments ago? Higher demand, higher price. So if many people want to buy more money, then the interest rate, the price of money goes up. But the government has some issue with the interest rate. The government always love to keep the interest rates lower than some point, because if the rate is so high, then people would be very upset, so they will not vote for the ruling party candidates at the election. So government is very concerned about that. So what if the interest rate is so high and the people who borrowed money to buy their house from the banks have a very hard times by getting some calls from the bank? Then what should the government do to lower the interest rate? What should they do? Let's think about the talks we've done by now in this class. But what?
Perhaps they are going to make more money.
Print more money. Yeah, right. In other words, can you explain it? Using some terms that I used in this class.
Increase the supply.
Oh yeah, that's the very one. There are one. As she said, increase the supply of money. Then more supply, then the price of money goes down. Who does that job? Bank?
Bank of Korea.
Right, exactly. Bank of Korea. Central bank. Central bank do that. The central bankers do that. Print out more money. That is increasing the supply of money. Then the opposite case. What if the interest rate is too low? Sometimes it matters. Yeah. If interest rate is too low, the victims are banks, commercial banks. Their main business is get some money from customers into their deposits and then borrow that money. There must be some interest rate gap. Borrowing rate and deposit rate, there must be some gap for the commercial bank to survive. But what if the interest rate is too low? Then if the interest rate approaches to zero, there are not that much space for the banks to expand the gap between the two rates. The banks start trouble. So in that case, government tries to increase the interest rate. In that case, we can think in the opposite way. Absorb the money in people's pockets. there is some complicated open market operations. You may have heard many times in the news that Federal Open Market Committee of Federal Reserve Bank of the United States do that. We also do that. The similar mechanism was installed in Korea in 1998. The central bank used the system of manipulating supply and demand, and they keep the interest rates at some levels. That's very hard. Actually, interest rate is much harder than foreign exchange rate. So let's finish the talk about the interest rates and let's move to foreign exchange. It will be much easier and friendlier to you. And let's go to a foreign exchange market. We said the price of foreign currency, the foreign exchange rate is determined at the FX market. Then which one is the increasing factor of FX rate? Let's think about the United States, US dollar, and so foreign exchange market. What is the increasing factor of USD FX rate? Of course, this is also kind of a supply and demand. If demand goes up, US dollar exchange rate goes up. What are such elements? That is paying for the imported goods. Importing companies have to pay usually at the beginning of every week. Every week, at the beginning, Monday or Tuesday, whatever, they need to pay for the goods they have imported. So before 1997, when the Korea was not that much integrated into the world capital system, the whole foreign exchange rate was determined according to this kind of real demand and supply. That time, every Monday typically every Monday, the FX rate went up. Then what is the opposite case? Which factor lowers the USD FX rate? Typically, you can pick a very specific name here. Who lowers the USD foreign exchange rate in Korea? Who do that? Central bank? Oh, you are calling for trouble with the International Monetary Fund. They're accusing us as a foreign exchange manipulating country. Very easy name. So much appearing name in economic news. Hint. No. Company name. Company name. Most hated name of Steve Jobs.
Really?
Apple.
Apple?
Samsung.
Oh, for Steve Jobs.
Samsung sells so much smartphones, and they collect that much dollars, and they put it into Korean exchange rate. That means massive supply of USD dollars. More supply, then the price goes down. And second candidate would be Hyundai Motors, but these days they got trouble. They are not that much smart. They did in 1990s. So this is an example of supply and demand factors in foreign exchange market. But actually, the reality is somewhat different. It's a financial market. And the foreign exchange market or money market are all rather similar to a stock market. it's the market participants do not behave according to the very, very happenings or incidents or accidents. More likely they behave according to their expectations. So, actually, at that very moment, there was not that much, not a significant change of the supply of USD dollars. But dealers changed the dollars. The typical case is the release of government data of trade surplus. In 1996, we had a very catastrophic trade deficit in Korea. That is the one reason of 1997 currency crisis. Samsung did not make smart business. The whole country got a very huge trade deficit. With that news, FX dealers expected the US dollar would be depleted in this country, and even the scary names joined in that currency war, like George Soros, notorious names in international finance world. They expected definitely Korean won would be depreciated severely. That's a very excessive case, but most cases the FX dealers behave according to their expectations. So somebody say that only 30% are real transactions. What I mean? Because they need some urgent dollar, or they earned that much dollar. That takes only 30% of the FX transactions. The other 70% are somewhat speculative trades, because the exchange rate, they expect the exchange rate goes up or down. They do that. And now, these are some vigorous ones. Let's move to some more casual ones. Let's think about our three professors from overseas, from South Africa. What is the currency of South Africa? We need to know that.
Come on, guys.
South African dollar?
They are probably going to change it in that direction.
Really?
It's the rand.
Yeah,
That's the
it's
name,
a
right?
rand.
The rand.
Rand is South African dollar. Let's suppose yesterday US dollar was one US dollar was very good. 1,166.2 Korean won, and one US dollar was 15.4425 South African rand. I don't know why the abbreviation is ZAR.
Yeah.
South
It was the
African.
old.
Z is for South.
Yeah, it was original.
Right.
It's a little
Now I see.
traditional, yeah.
If we calculate the Korean won and rand exchange rate, one rand is 75.72 Korean won. Let's suppose US companies had a great technical achievement, and they announced it, like some flying cars or some talking smartphones or something, whatever. All the FX dealers all through the world rushed to buy US dollars. So, and then happened after Friday night. That is, the Seoul market dealers went for weekend, but very the very moment the New York foreign exchange market is open, and there US dollar is severely appreciated. There is actually 1% appreciation or depreciation is very serious movement in FX market, but let's suppose 3% change, 3% appreciated US dollar. Then I calculated it. 15.4425 rand, then US dollar exchange rate is changed to a what is that? 15.9058 ZAR. That's a very serious,
Very serious.
disastrous situation to these three people all through the weekend. What should they do? And what should they not do in the weekend?
They should send money from Korea to South
Which
Africa.
money?
In our case, we will transfer Korean money to US dollars, and we will transfer the US
But
dollars
the
to...
dealers go when
Of course,
the weekend.
that is automatic transaction.
Ah, well.
Yeah.
But these students should go and have a vacation in South Africa
Yeah.
because it will be very cheap
Very
for
cheap
you.
for them.
Yeah.
Ah, that is a trick. That is a trick. I will talk about that.
Yeah.
Anyway, you have a trouble. With 100 rand. That used to be a 7,500 won,
Yes.
but this unusual situation, 100 rand became 7,300 won. Then you got a trouble to buy
Korean.
cappuccino and cheesecake at Starbucks.
You're right. You're right.
In that case, I recommend don't do anything the whole weekend. Only one issue is if you survive all through the weekend, then what happened in the very next week? What happened in the Monday morning? Monday morning! Now it is the turn of Korean one's severely better time. You know, foreign exchange rate is, the FX rate is changing according to the economic news. If a great advances in US technology happened, then we are not free from that kind of world situation. Oh, of course, currently we are on the weekend and session is over, but the destiny is waiting for us at the Monday morning. So
You're right. You're absolutely right. Yeah.
now is the bloody turn for Korean won. As Monday market opens, the foreign exchange rate rapidly starting to go up.
Yeah.
So if you survive the weekend, it's okay for you. But there's nothing changing. And the weekend, temporarily it goes up, we went up, and as new week starts, it goes back to the original point. So that is the happenings in the foreign exchange market and financial market. Is that one last one? It's a very important thing. If you say some smart answer about this final question, I truly believe so, Professor Reynolds would give some extra point to you.
Oh, come on, guys.
It may be the summary of all talks tonight. The relationship between Korean and the relationship between interest rate and FX rate, foreign exchange rate. If currently the issue is U.S. Central Bank Federal Reserve's action, they are pretty much likely to increase U.S. interest rate. If they do so, actually they did in December last year, and there is some chance they also do that in April. Definitely at once by June. If United States Central Bank Federal Reserve raises their interest rate, then is the USD exchange rate likely to go up or go down? That's too hard.
Going up.
Yeah.
Actually, those two guys got some economics background. So now let's come over here, please. You can explain it. You got first kind of a soapbox.
Box, yeah.
Yeah.
You can explain it.
Ayun, gimana?
Explain about it.
Greetings.
Good evening.
So, what can I say something?
Yeah, the reason why you think so.
If the U.S. central bank raised their currency rate,
Exchange.
interesting rate,
Yeah.
perhaps a lot of people want to input their money to U.S. bank
For what?
or on more interest.
Right, exactly. Excellent.
Very good.
That's all. That's all I've prepared for tonight.
Wow.
I'm so much impressed by your participation and
Yeah.
your deep insight in finance was very, very wonderful.
Amazing.
Thank you so much.